prison to fame. 40 years deep in the law he's read. Now the CRA shakes in fear and dread. Stop paying tax forever, my friend. With Kevin J. Johnston, the fight doesn't end. Corporate debt, he'll make it all good. He's the man the CRA misunderstood. Payroll problems, they vanish like mist when Kevin shows up with his legal fist. No more matching, no more lies, just clean-cut books and clear blue skies. Stop paying tax forever, my friend. With Kevin J. Johnston, the rules start to bend. The CRA can scream and shout, but Kevin knows how to throw them out. They claim they've got the final say, but Kevin proves there's a better way. He fights for truth, he fights for you, and teaches what the courts won't do. Forever today. Let Kevin J. Johnston show you the way. The expert, the rebel, the man with a plan. He's saving this nation, one client per hand. He's got 40 years of tax law knowing and corporate skills that keep cash flowing. GST, payroll, all in line. He'll save your neck and every dime. He studied law, both civil crime, and makes tax code sound so sublime. With stand-up jokes and punchlines tight, he makes your seminar a night of light. Kevin J, CRA just runs away. He's the tax manslayer with a legal plan, the best-looking genius in the land. Kevin J, taking all your tax away. If the government's scared, then it's safe to say he's the hero of the North, Kevin J. 2 million women cast their vote, said Kevin's hot, that's all she wrote. The suits at CRA can't compete, he's beaten them clean without deceit. 100 mil he's saved so far, he's raising truth like a legal star. And if you think you owe the state, he'll show you how to terminate. Kevin J, CRA just runs away. He's the tax manslayer with a legal plan, the best-looking genius in the land. Kevin J, taking all your tax away. If the government's scared, then it's safe to say he's the hero of the North, Kevin J. The tax act's just a paper myth unless you work for CRA, no ifs. He buys your corp, clears every cent, then laughs while walking from the government. Restructure payroll, skip the fees, fire the tax man with graceful ease. He's winning battles in the courts each day. Soon he'll cost the feds $1 billion. Hooray! Kevin J, CRA just runs away. He's the tax manslayer with a legal plan, the best-looking genius in the land. Kevin J,
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode number 70 of the Tax and Money Show right here on freedomreport.ca. Tonight's another episode of Your Questions Answered. Again, get those questions answered. We're just going to be talking about nothing about whatever you find people would like to talk about tonight. That is all that we're doing, is answering everybody's questions for the entire day. Next week, I've been chatting with a private investigator and my dear friend Stefanos, both of whom are legal experts. The CRA pulled a stunt. I'm going to call it a stunt yesterday, and I am going to cover this quite well in next week's show. They sent me over, they had a process server, a guy who calls himself a bailiff, essentially just a repo man, who supposedly had a court order and was looking to serve it to me in Kamloops, British Columbia. Well, obviously I'm not there. And in Kamloops, British Columbia, I pay a fee to utilize office space for some of my sales reps to go and hang for a day, but I don't have any assets there. You know, my sales reps show up with their own laptops, do their thing and leave. And my mail goes there, and that's about it. So this process server, who's also a private repo man, shows up and serves the people that own the building today a letter stating that I have to give all of my assets to the CRA from a corporation that I purchased about 8 months ago. Well, when I show you the court paperwork next week, you'll be shocked at the fact that it is supposedly a court order, but there was no court date on it. It was supposedly a court order that was enforceable, but it wasn't signed by a judge. I was never served a notification about a hearing, and ergo, if there is no hearing, then there can be no decision. So it was an attempt to frighten me is what it was, but what they've done here is actually quite illegal. To state that something is a federal court order and only the Canada Revenue Agency signed it, that we believe, we're checking into it now, we believe that this is a crime that they have committed. So naturally, I think all of you remember I was talking to you about this loser named Mark MacDonald that works for the CRA. He was the one responsible for it because this guy told me that he was going to use all of the resources of the Canadian government to take me down. You know, Mr. KevinJJohnston, I've met many guys like you, and you call me all the time and you make fun of me, and I'm going to take you down. I've got all kinds of recorded conversations with this loser, and I think he got himself in a lot of trouble this time. So I'm just waiting to hear back from my criminal lawyer to see what the criminal lawyer has to say. Because if indeed this is a crime, like I believe it to be, well, things are going to change a little bit, I believe, with the CRA and their ridiculous policies. Okay, we're going to dive right into it. I am not telling any more anecdotal tales. I'm going straight to your questions. If you have questions about crypto, Canadian taxes, Canadian real estate, the Canadian dollar, Panama's banking system, whatever it is that relates to taxes and money, I'm here to answer your questions. Alex Vischer, I have corporations that I want you to buy ASAP if I could get an emergency meeting with you. Yes, Alex, you can. I would like you to go to my website right now, KevinJJohnston.com. Put your name in the subject line, Alex Vischer, selling corporation. Do it in the subject line, and phone number, email address, all that. I'm going to call you after the show, but you got to go to the website. Don't DM me. People, stop DMing me on social media. I don't have time to do it. My email box is between 40 and 100 a day. And every time I log into TikTok, there's like 150 to 1,000 comments. I just cannot keep up with it. So in social media, I do these free shows to educate, but everyone has to go through my website if you want to hire me. All right. So Herbs says, can the CRA provide proof where your money is going? Oh, God, no. Are you kidding me? They're not going to tell you a damn thing. The CRA probably cannot. It's an incredibly disorganized institution. And the money, well, I can tell you, I've been to all kinds of war zones around the world. I know where the money's going. It's going into death, pestilence, and disease, and more death all over the world. Canadian money, the tax dollars in Canada don't stay in Canada. Like, we're not getting infrastructure projects out of the deal. We're not getting education out of the deal. We're certainly not getting healthcare out of the deal. It's all going to foreign countries. Dylan Cruz, CRA, says, I owe them $24K for CERB and CEBA. I took a tax return. What can you do? You filed the RC-193. RC-193 doesn't work. They don't care. These are not, remember, the people that work for the CRA are not compassionate. They're not even human beings. They are toys for my entertainment. They're all filth. They're all dirt. I want nothing to do with them. So what we have to do is send in a series of 5 letters. Now, it works, but you can't bluff. So if you're coming to me to get rid of CEBA or CEWS or CERS debts with the Canada Revenue Agency, if the CRA does not cooperate, we're going to the courts. We're going straight to the Superior Court of the province that you live in. And if you are not going to go the distance and file that lawsuit, then don't come to me to get that fixed, because that is the final step if the letters and the threats and my strategies don't work. So far, we haven't had to go to court once. So I'm batting 100%. Nonetheless, if you're coming to me, the things I'm going to tell you, you're going to think, I've never heard this before. Well, of course you haven't heard this before. That's why you're coming to me. So I would rather you not come to me if you're going to listen to what I'm saying privately, which mimics quite a bit of what I say here publicly, and then be afraid of it and not do it. Or come to me and have me do your taxes, and then you say, well, the refund's not coming quick enough. So you go to another accountant after I filed your taxes and then redo your taxes and submit that. Like, I'm not in control of what the CRA does. That really does get on my nerves. So if you're going to do that as a client, I'm going to fire your ass. We're done. You're never going to have me working on your taxes again. Yes, this has happened. So fear. If you're going to be having me as your tax guy, you can tell I'm afraid of nothing. Nothing. You got to bury your fear. And you have to understand the fact that I believe in what I am doing so much that I am the only guy in the country that swears in your tax returns to the courts. And I state in the affidavits that I swear in that I am fully accountable for everything in your tax returns. I take the liability away from you, and people are still afraid. Oh my God, the CRA, they're going to put the handcuffs on me. I'm going to go to jail. If that's who you are, I don't want you as a client. I got to make that clear right now. And it's the same thing with this CERB thing. I will get rid of your CERB debts, but the letters that I write and the threats that I make to the CRA, they are very harsh and they are very real. I'm not bluffing. And if you think that you're going to get away with bluffing, that, oh, let Kevin say these things. It's great when Kevin says this stuff, but I'm not going to go to court because, you know, we can't work together. I have no respect for fear, not in adults. Kids, I get. Toddlers, sure. Kids should be afraid of the dark. Adults should not be afraid of the dark. Yeah. 15-year-old teenagers who are kind of awkward and figuring out the dating game. Yeah, they should be nervous when someone calls them on the phone because they don't know. All right. But an adult should not be nervous about any phone calls because you can always just hang up the phone. You can always swear in the phone. You can crack racist jokes and epithets if you like and hang up the phone. You can call the cops if you like. But being afraid, come on. Fear is what screws you every single time. All right. We got a question here from Carlo V. Ware. Is there anything that can be done with personal tax? I had a loser accountant and I needed my personal taxes redone. It's been 30 days and I'm still waiting on considerable GST refunds. That's a problem with the CRA right now. You probably do have a loser accountant, but even if it's me submitting your taxes to the CRA, it's going to be anywhere between 2 months and 10 months before your refund comes in because they've got hundreds of millions in the bank and they are earning as much interest as they can on your refund before they issue that refund. And I cannot speed them up. I can threaten them to accept your taxes, and we can sue them if they don't accept your taxes. But I cannot speed up their process. I mean, mostly they're completely useless individuals, but I still can't speed them up as much as I would like to. Roseness says, I took a cooperative COVID 60K loan. I have no intent of paying it back. When or will they come back someday? Well, yes, they will. But if you took that $60,000 CEBA loan in your corporation only and you did not secure it personally, I can buy your corporation from you and take all of your debt away that day. Let's go to TikTok here. Can I sell the car personally to my wife's corporation? You can sell anything you want to any corporation anytime you want. There's nothing stopping anyone from selling vehicles here and there. But you got to pay the tax. If you're, oh God, man, the province of Ontario drives me mental. If you sell the same used car 1,000 times, you got to pay provincial tax on that car every time it transfers. Alberta does not do that. So I am starting to recommend that a lot of you just go to Alberta and just move the car from place to place to place, from corporation to corporation to corporation, because it's really not that much. It's like $200 to get new plates on the vehicle and new registration. You just have to get the vehicle certified, and that's about $150. Now, Alberta's the place to do it, folks. But yes, you can do that. Do crypto capital gains have to be reported? No. And I'll say it in French. No, absolutely not. If you have crypto, shut up about it. It's no one's business. Opening my Panama foundation this week. Any tips? Yeah, Wes, you got to make sure you're using a good lawyer. There are lawyers in Panama who are fantastic. They'll get all that done in 3 days. There are lawyers in Panama that suck, and it'll be 3 months. So you got to make sure you have yourself a good lawyer. But once the foundation is done, do what you want to do. Put property in it, put money into it, write your corporate bylaws. Just whatever you do. Like in Panama, you got to do everything through lawyers. So do it through the lawyer. Okay, so if your crypto exchange snitched on you, $10 says it's a Canadian exchange, like ShakePay or Coinberry's gone. WonderFi, BitBuy, any of those crap things. Oh, and if you're buying crypto or gold or silver through any of the Canadian banks, they snitch too. So don't do business with Canadian anything. It's ridiculous. Can I put myself into a numbered account? I'm sorry, Theo, I don't understand that question. Rephrase it, please. Okay. In Manitoba, I cannot remove myself as director from a corporation, I was told. Okay, well, whoever told you that is an arsehole. Okay. We have, in the world, human beings have this need to sound important. Remember Andy Warhol? He was a bit of a freak show, but he did say something very interesting and very true. Everybody will have 15 minutes of fame. The problem is with human beings, they all want it, but they want it every day. So they say stupid crap like that. You can't remove yourself as director in Manitoba because that's what I heard, and I'm telling it to you at the dinner table, so I sound important. Don't take advice from friends or family or buddies down the road or hockey buddies or guys in your pool league, whatever else, all right? Stop taking advice from idiots. That is the advice that I would give to anyone. You can remove yourself as director and add yourself as director 1,000 times a year in Manitoba if you want to. Where is the CRA really located? Well, there's an Alberta registration office, and there's also one in the Barbados. And I'm going to be heading over to Barbados soon to investigate that for you. Keep you posted. Never been to Barbados, by the way. All right. I resigned as director in Ontario. Use ChatGPT. Yeah, okay, yes. But you got to keep in mind, resigning as director is not the same as getting fired. So let me explain that. My God. If you are the director of a corporation in Canada, you're a dumbass, okay? But you're a dumbass because you didn't know. So let's not be dumb anymore. And let me explain what the director really is. The director is the guy or gal who's unfortunate enough to have their name down as the director. And that's the only name the CRA can legally harass for corporate debts, like payroll, GST, and HST. If any of you are the director of your corporation or have been hired to be the director of a corporation, get your names off of there now. Now, the other thing that you would do is you have to. If you don't own the corporation, but you are the director of it, you have to get fired. And what you can do is just write a letter and sign it yourself saying that my name is Javier and I am the president and vice president of whatever, of human resources. And we have fired John Smith as director. You need to get fired as director because that firing will protect you. And then you still got to wait between 6 months and 2 years for you to be outside the statute of limitations. The best thing in the world to do is never be the director, or if you are the director, when I sign you up, when I register a corporation for you, I have to make you director for about a week so you can go get bank accounts. But I'm also going to add like 5 to 10 different names and then remove you. You're going to get fired, by the way. We fire you. Now the CRA can't do jack. How much do you pay for in-debt corporations? $1. Yes, a single dollar. It's $1 Canadian. I buy the corporation. With that, I get all of your assets and I get all of your debt. You, in the same day, make an asset purchase back from me for 10% of the value of your entire debt. That's how the deal works. You get to walk away from all your debt, and now the CRA gets to chase me for debt. Now, as a debt broker, I will be shopping your debt around. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll take like 50, 60 corporations that I bought, and I'll look at it and I'll say, like, holy smoke, we've got $94 million of debt with these corporations. I will call all of the companies that I deal with who are way too rich, always looking for capital losses, and they will buy these corporations from me. They will let the interest accrue on those. So 94 million bucks could very easily become 120 in less than a year with all the penalties and fees and whatnot that CRA will put on that. And they can always write them off the following year as a bad investment. So that's what we do. I'm a debt broker. I take your debt, I trade your debt, I sell your debt. Yeah, we have a lot of fun with your debt. Thank you for the heart. I appreciate that. We're only at 4,000 likes, by the way. Double fingers, guys. Come on TikTok. Double fingers, double fingers. And I know you can do the same thing over here on Instagram. Let's get that fired up if we could, please. Would really appreciate that. If you're watching on Rumble, right about there is the like button. So get the like button up. Speaking of Rumble, let's go to the Rumble room and check some questions here. Question, can you help me set up a private pension? Well, I can set up a private pension if there's a reason to do so, such as you want to get residency in any country in Latin America or any country in South America. Getting a private pension set up is a matter of a day. Yes, the answer is yes to that. I got fired for not taking the jab, and QP is trying to get me to settle. What should I do? Chopped liver, I would need to see the settlement offer. I'm really curious to see what that is. I mean, something like that I would take to trial, but you got to be careful with it because if you don't know what you're doing, you'll lose. Lawyers suck, and that's the other big problem. It's really difficult to find good lawyers in Canada. Let me see the sheet. I wouldn't mind seeing that. All right. Got Skip Tracer in the room. All right. So check this comment out, everyone. This is a Skip Tracer, private investigator, someone that can find anyone. He says, whether you wear a badge, hold a title, or sit in a boardroom, you are not above civil law. You can be sued. You can be held liable. And no amount of status will shield you from accountability. You can be held liable. And no amount of status will shield you from accountability. You cannot hide behind your position. Transparency matters. Truth matters. Justice doesn't care about your rank. Oh, I like that. All right. How do you stop probate? Got to fire the lawyer. Oh, my God. Probate. Oh, okay. I'm going to answer this one. in Canada, probably the United States as well, because the systems are based off the British system. In Canada, you die. The vultures just come ripping in. So let's say dad dies and there's 5 or 6 siblings. All of them argue, I cut dad's toenails more than you, so I should get the whole house. Well, I cut the grass more than you. I should get the whole house. Yeah, well, I wiped dad's ass, so I should get the car. It's people get pathetic when someone dies. And it's because people are pathetic that things go into probate. So what happens here is if someone has a will, and wills in Canada suck. They just suck. They determine nothing. They're more of a guideline than anything else. So in probate, some sleazebag lawyer will get in there and he'll take ownership of the entire estate, cash, house, everything. And then he's going to build the estate and actually just start taking your money, putting it into his bank account. And hopefully, in his mind, everybody argues long enough so he can drain the entire estate. And lawyers just do this. They rarely get hired. They just do this. So you got to be careful with that. I mean, how do you get out of probate? Is you have to accuse the lawyer of fraud, file a police report for fraud, because you got to say, like, no one hired this guy. He stole everything. File charges. You got to register a complaint with the Law Society, file a lawsuit for $10 million immediately, and then tell the piece of trash, hey, release everything today. We didn't hire you. You're not our lawyer. You're fired. And you're going to jail. Probate must be avoided at all costs, because you're going to lose everything. Most people that we deal with in the tax game who have properties that go into probate, they lose minimum half. Minimum. Because they can't get along. And that is where the numbered corporation comes in so handy. If you're a property investor, you've got like 15 houses. Each one should be in a numbered corporation, and the numbered corporation dictates the rules of who gets the house. And it's all done through shares. So let's say you've got an equal number of kids, 4. Then I would register the corporation for you and put 100 shares into the business. So you could say all kids get 25 each. Or Johnny's a moron, so he only gets 10. And Stevie did really good in school, so he gets 50. And the other 2 get the rest, split equally. You can dictate all of these rules within your bylaws. You got to make sure that everything's done through corporations, because that way the CRA knows nothing after you die. Probate lawyers cannot get involved in any way, and there's no land transfer taxes on anything. The only thing that changes hands are shares. What are shares? Pieces of paper that nobody knows about. So stay the hell away from probate. And yes, I can get you out of probate. All right. All right, guys, crypto. Everyone asks this all the time. No, you do not have to report crypto gains to the CRA. They're too stupid to know what that is. They really are stupid people. Had Enough says, I told the collection agent to stop harassing me and threaten legal action. Nothing since so far. Well, that'll work for that particular representative. Then they'll hand the file over to someone else and it all starts over. So you always have to utilize the notice of liability and the notice of trespass. Those are 2 very powerful letters that have to get sent in immediately. Okay, question here. MZ giggles. Hey, Kevin, for temporary director for numbered corps, you had mentioned firing with a letter. Would I need to have that in hand after I complete opening the bank account? Yeah, you just put that in your file folder and you keep it safe for when you need it. You may never need it, but just in case, it's going to be in your file folder. Oh, and your firing letter needs to be sworn in so that there is a notary that submits it to the courts. And that way, it's evidence for the rest of your life. JJ Fur says, I have a question. The contractor that I work with, he's withholding half my paycheck because of the CRA. You got to file a, so notice of liability first. That letter has to go in. And then we threaten to sue him because the CRA did that without a court order. Without a court order. A requirement to pay letter that the Canada Revenue Agency issues to your boss to garnish your wages is not a goddamn court order. It is not a court order. It's not a lawful command. Nobody has to do what the CRA says. Nobody has to do anything the CRA says. They have to get a court order, and not from that stupid tax court, because that's not a court, that's a tribunal. It has to be by a judge sitting in a superior court in the province in which your job exists. So you can sue your boss and you'll win. Does your home have to be paid off to transfer into a holding company? No. And again, in French, no, it does not. Theo says, I went to a real estate corp in Ontario, owe income tax and HST for 3 years. How do I lower what I owe? Sorry, Theo, do you own a real estate corporation or do you work for one? Could you rephrase the question, please? I will answer it. If you are in Panama and we need to go to court, will you be able to go to court? Yes, because we file a motion to have me come into court by camera, right there, or right over there, or right here. Yeah, Zoom. Yes, because most courts are just civil. It's very easy to get FaceTime or Zoom or whatever else it is in civil court. Just Tommy says, I was audited 3 years ago, cooperated, and they seized my accounts in a big debt. Is it too late? No, we have to redo your taxes going back 10 years. Never cooperate with an auditor. Auditors have no power. They're losers. They flash little cards. They come to your door and they give you a card. It's a laminated piece of crap, which you should take and flush down the toilet. That's what you should do. The card says that because according to the Income Tax Act, they have the right to come into your house or your office and look at all your files. They actually don't. Nobody has the right to come in your house unless you say, welcome into my house. I mean, if you let someone in your house who gives you a freaking card, that's on you, man. Yeah. Go F yourself. Start practicing that in the mirror. Get off my land. I'm calling the cops. And then you just call the cops. You do not do anything anyone says because they tell you they have authority to do so. What if that was a scammer? You'll believe them too, wouldn't you? All right. And I'm willing to bet if the person doesn't speak English, well, hello, yes, I have to come over. I've got to go to your house and look at your files. You'll let them in, won't you? You will. I know you will. Stop capitulating to people who state they have the right to do something. They don't. In Canada, again, without a court order signed by a judge, red sash, not purple, not green, not blue, not anything else. Judge, signed, Superior Court. Without that, they don't get in. And without that, in addition to a warrant, they also don't get in, because if it is a judge's order, you can say, you know what, I'm appealing this. Get the hell out of here. And you appeal it. You get 30 days. The second you say appeal, guess what happens? The order is null and void until the appeal can be heard. So stop thinking people have authority. They don't. Did I say that tax refunds take between 2 and 10 months? Yep, that's exactly what I said. Does your home have to be paid off to no, we've already answered that one. My Calendly doesn't work. Ladies and gentlemen, I opened up about 14 or 15 sessions on Fridays. So there are at least 14 or 15 sessions available right now on KevinJJohnston.com. I know for a fact there are, because I authorized them about 5 days ago, and I saw that Calendly is working right now. So jump on my website if you want to reserve. Now, if you cannot figure Calendly out, that is okay. Use my website, hit the contact form, and let me know that you'd like to book something, and we'll find you a time. All right. You said way before you should put everything into a corporation. You had black boxes, purple boxes. Black boxes and purple boxes. I'm not sure what that means, but everything you own, money, gold, silver, houses, condos, townhouses, cottages, really expensive cars, all of it should be in numbered corporations, all of it. You need to separate yourself from everything that you own. If you don't hide what you got, you're going to lose it. Everything, numbered corporation. All right. Steven says, question, Kevin, could you do a show dedicated to the number of, two numbered corporations and how they work, setting up good bylaws? Yeah, you know, Steven, I am going to be doing that. I got to grab a bunch of new equipment. I got a beautiful whiteboard in my office here. It's 8 foot wide by 4 foot high. But I've got to find a way to make the presentation work where I can use marker and draw on the board for you. Got to keep in mind that your widescreen on Facebook and DLive and Rumble and YouTube and so on, but all the other platforms are vertical. So I've got to find a way to make that work. It's just a bit of a pain in the ass when it's just me setting all these cameras up. But don't worry, we'll get there, pal. I appreciate that. Okay, let's just shoot over to the YouTube rooms here. Tunnel Vision says, in order to remain anonymous, is it only the holding company that needs to be a numbered corporation, or does the business that makes money also be numbered? Yes. Everything numbered corporation. Do not name your corporations, because a numbered corporation can use hundreds of names if you wanted to. You simply take a listing of about 100 names to your bank saying, hey, this numbered corporation right here is 014894682 Ontario Limited. Here's the 100 names we use. Alberta will ask you to register them as trademarks only within the province. Fine, play the game. But Ontario, Quebec, Manitoba, BC, no such thing. Just you tell the bank what the names are and you're good to go. Never register a named corporation. Numbered corporations, there's so many of them, it's real easy to get lost in the shuffle, and you want the CRA to be lost in the shuffle. Is it possible for an individual to write off their personal vehicle purchases? Yes, under the T2125 form. What you would do is say, like you buy that personal car. Let's say you did one pizza delivery. So you made $60. That's a bit much, $25. All right, you made $25. You would say on your T2125 form, I made $25 at John's Pizza and I spent $30,000 on a car to do it. And yes, you would get the full write-off on the vehicle. And I'm the only one doing that. It's unbelievable. Every accountant in Canada should know what the T2125 form is, but they don't use it. Buck, 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 chickens. They're all cowards, all of them. Okay, and for everybody who's trying to sell me something in my own chat rooms, get lost. What do you think I'm going to do? Take my credit card while I'm live and say, oh yeah, please sell me your search engine optimization. Look at this clown here. I noticed your channel could benefit from a larger audience to boost your streams with the right support. We could start earning you $30 an hour on Kick. I can help you grow your channel. Yeah, dude, okay, call me, man. I'll give you my Visa card. I'll do it live right here on the show. God, the spam out there is unbelievable. Annoying at best. How much money do you need to buy a property in Panama? Depending on the size. Well, I mean, like how much is a house? It's the same as with anything. I do not recommend, if you're looking for comfort, like North American style comfort, then I don't recommend buying a place that's designed by Panamanians. Panamanians, like most Latin American countries, you'll have a family of 5, 6, or 7 people growing up in a 200 square foot place. And that's normal to them. Whereas in North America, we're spoiled that way. Most of us are. You'll have an 1,800 square foot house, 3 or 4 bedrooms, 3 or 4 bathrooms, and so on. Everyone's got their own personal space. So Panamanians, when they design condos, design them around that specific thought process of, well, I guess gringos like us. Everybody crammed into one space. So you got to talk to the American, Canadian, Australian, New Zealand, European developers. Buy from them. Like the condos that I bought, plural now, they're all from American and Spanish, Spain, Spanish. They're from those countries. Those developers were really good. The condos I have are extremely North Americanized. You've got everything. You got the lights, you got the AC, you got the running water, you got the big shower, you got separate bedrooms, because a lot of Panamanian design places have the bedrooms in the living room. I hate that. Like there's no way I'm going to wash dishes while I'm looking at my bed. My bed is behind closed doors just in case I'm reading books to somebody in that room. Okay. I want privacy, just how that is. So that would be the answer to the question. So getting back to the amount, well, if you're buying in a brand new building and you get something cool like a corner unit where you've got a 200-degree arc of vision of everything, you're looking anywhere between 190 and 350. Yeah, penthouses pretty much unanimously across the board are $500K for a good penthouse condo, but the penthouse condos in Panama, they're pretty cool. There's sometimes 2 or even 3 floors. They're mostly between 2 to 4 bedrooms, and they got dynamite views. And they're all these really cool open concept studio places. So I don't know what your taste is, but that's my recommendation. Do not buy from Panamanian developers. Buy from North American, European developers. All right, there you go. What would stop you guys from returning my emails? Well, I mean, nothing stops us from returning emails. Who are you emailing? That's the big question. If you're emailing me through the website, someone's going to get back to you ASAP. If you're emailing the wrong email address, then obviously we won't. I need to know who you are emailing, please, if you don't mind. 12 years plus of not paying tax, what would happen? Well, eventually they're going to make a demand that you pay your tax. But if you haven't done your taxes for that long, I would just go back and do your taxes at the poverty line, because there would be no way that the CRA could be able to tell you that, no, that's not true. So I'll just go back and do your taxes for 10 years. That's how we take care of that. Does your home have to? No, we've already answered that question. So in the 80s, tax treaty was signed between Barbados and Canada. All right, well, I haven't read it, but this tax treaty thing. Okay, look, I got to clarify this for everybody. The Canada Revenue Agency has no jurisdiction outside of Canada. It has no jurisdiction at all. So even if the CRA knew about a bank account somewhere else around the world, they can't take your money out of it. Do you honestly think that the Barbados government is going to say, hey, some loser named Farouk in Canada says, give us money, so let's give money away? How quickly do you think the banking system in these countries would fail if the average person knew that they were giving money to Canada? They would fail pretty fast. The reason that you go to these countries is so that you can have financial autonomy, and so that you can be clear of the CRA. The CRA cannot take your money out of the Barbados. It just cannot take your money out of Panama, Mexico, not even the United States. The CRA does not have that power. They have to file for a court order in the Barbados to get your money. So tax treaty or not, it ain't happening, period. Can I hire my child and pay him, just not tell the CRA? Well, listen, everybody, if you never do your first tax return, then you've never signed a contract with the CRA. So if any kids are out there listening, if you're like 16, 17 years old and you're making money and you never do a tax return for your entire life, you'll never pay tax in that time. If you are working contractually and not taking jobs where you're on a T4. So keep that in mind. But you could go your whole life not doing a tax return if you never did the first one. Can I retire in the Barbados? Expensive. Expensive. The issue with the Barbados, similar to the Bahamas, these are countries that are a whole bunch of small islands all over the place. And the only real way to enjoy these countries that are broken up the way that they are is to own a sailboat. Now, what do those things cost? Like 400 grand? The Barbados is notorious for being excessively flat. It's something like maybe 15, 20 feet above sea level. It gets hammered in hurricane season all the time. And the most common thing that everyone says is there's nothing to do. So people will go to the resort, they drink themselves stupid for, a week or two. And then what? I am not a resort guy. When I go to a resort for the day, I buy their little wristband. I have breakfast. I have unlimited coffee all day. I'll do a couple of activities. Mostly I throw myself down on the beach and just lie there like a starfish and then go have all you can eat dinner. And the next day I can't wait to leave. I'm not a resort guy. So if you're not a resort person, I wouldn't go to the Barbados. There's just not enough to do. Mexico, I don't recommend because it's expensive and there's a far left maniac president in there right now. But Mexico is a big country. I think it's got 32 states. It's big. And if you stay out of the Chihuahua state right now, where all the cartels are, you're going to be okay. So there's a lot to do and see. Big country, like 100 something million people, a lot to do. Panama is a smaller country, but it still has a lot to do. It has mountains. It's got a 12,500 foot tall volcano. I know. I climbed that thing in 7 hours. I was pretty tired when it was done, but it was worth it. There's different landscapes here. There's different types of beaches here. Countries like Bahamas and Barbados and Grenada and whatnot, they don't really have all that much to offer. Your call. Okay. Bryce, if you're having a problem with the Calendly link to book a consultation, please go to the contact page on my website. Put down Bryce. I'll remember that you want to book a consultation, and I can get you a link to a direct way to purchase a consultation. Like I said, I've opened up a bunch of them. There's a lot of them for sale right now. They are there. Do I recommend? Oh, okay. Ernie, the Millionaire Maker. I get asked this a lot. Do I recommend investing money in a life insurance policy? Oh, that's a tricky one. You see, and I hate saying depends. I can't stand that. But it depends on what the policy is intended to cover and who the insurer is. It absolutely depends on what the contract states. And Ernie, if you truly are a millionaire, I know what you're thinking. You're wanting to utilize your own life insurance policy to milk it to essentially become your own bank. That is another show altogether. Now, if you've got the skills and the know-how to turn your life insurance policies into your own bank, yeah, man, do it. Like, what are you waiting for? I would highly recommend that if anyone can manipulate someone else's money into becoming a bank that you own and control, what are you waiting for? Of course, I recommend that. But I have to do a full show on that. And the issue is that it'll only be Canadian centric. And the issue with that is the Canadian life insurance policies are not as easy to milk as the American ones are. So I actually would have to get myself an education on how to milk life insurance policies in the States. I haven't done that yet. I'm having too much fun pissing off the CRA. What happens? Oh, here's a good question. What happens if a sibling sues another sibling because they feel they didn't get enough money? Sibling A files lawsuit. Sibling B files defense. Both siblings, if they don't know how to defend themselves in court, hire lawyers. Both of you will pay $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 in court. If the sibling getting sued is smart, they'll take it right to trial. Don't settle. Go straight to trial, and you'll most likely win. But is it worth it? I thought siblings, just correct me if I'm wrong here, but I thought siblings worked everything out with their fists. Is that no longer the case? Because when my brother and I had issues in the past, we would work it out with, first off, a disagreement, and then a bit of yelling, and then nose to nose, face to face barking, and then threats, and then challenges, and then 5 minutes of fisticuffs. And when both of us had bleeding noses, I'm like, okay, I get it. You're right. All right, we'll work this out. I don't like. Do siblings do that anymore? Tell me. I'm actually asking a serious question here. Do they do that anymore? To answer your question, both parties are going to blow 40 grand and probably get nowhere with it. Everyone's got the right to sue, but got to work it out. Anyway, everyone, tell me, do siblings work things out with their fists? Let me know. Okay, Bryce, if you're having an issue with the link, I understand you're frustrated. I'm willing to talk to you. Hit me on the contact page, please, on my website. Put Bryce in the subject line. Okay, you've already answered that. What do I do if I haven't filed income tax for my company for 2 years? Hire me to do your taxes, and I'll go back 2, 3, 4 years and get them done. Make sure you keep maximum money in your pocket. Okay. Guys, I've got 65 messages here. I'm going through them as fast as I can. If I don't want to report crypto gains on Coinbase, will they report it to the CRA automatically? Not to CRA, to FinTrack instead. FinTrack may or may not report that. But so long as you move it to crypto.com or Binance or Kraken or your own hard wallet, then there's nothing they can do about it. Why are you on Canadian exchanges? Guys, ladies and gentlemen, Canadian banks suck. Canadian crypto exchanges suck. Why is anyone putting their money in Canada? Move it into crypto and get it the hell out of there. Going to try to rifle through here. Thank you, Ton. I appreciate that. Okay, for everybody out there who's saying that there's no availabilities on my website, there are. Calendly may not be compatible with your browser. It's kind of a pain. I don't like it myself. I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't. But message me today. This is July the 8th, 2025. It's currently 9:51 p.m. Eastern time. Go to my website, use the contact form, tell me you'd like to get a time, and we will get you the link to the times that are available. That's a promise. Oh, okay, this guy, Ernie. Ernie knows something. Do you suggest rolling over my retirement savings to a corporation or a life insurance plan? Crypto. That's XRP. I have put just about every spare penny I've got into XRP. Look, XRP is trading today at 325 Canadian per coin. If it goes to $8, I've tripled my money. Just think about that. Because that would be $8 US, I'm quoting. So that would be $11 Canadian. That's actually almost quadrupling my money. That's what I would do. I mean, I love Canadian gold and Canadian silver. It is truly 99.9 pure. I love that stuff, but that's only wealth retention. I don't buy gold and silver to make money overnight. I don't flip it to make dough. Crypto and property is where I make my dough. Again, I mentioned earlier, I don't know enough about how to milk a life insurance plan to recommend that you get a life insurance plan and milk it. But I do know that if you're going to be investing in property, right now property values are dropping in Canada, 15% in some places in Ontario, 6% in Alberta. I don't care about Quebec or BC, so I'm not even looking at them right now. But if property drops another 10%, I'd start lapping it up because property markets always recover in Canada. They always do. G says, I have a cash job. How can I invest safely into stocks without CRA on my neck? In the United States. That's how. Open a corporation in Wyoming. It's $95. Pay the law firm about $350 to use their address for the year. That's US dollars, of course. And then do all your trading through that corporation on American stock exchanges and keep your mouth closed about your earnings. Do not do trading in Canada. Everybody reports to FinTrack. And you don't want to be involved with those people at all. Okay, I got reassessed. There's a good one. I got reassessed from those bogus charities a long time ago. Now the CRA says I owe $20,000. Can you help? Yes, I can. I got to go back to that tax year and redo it my way without that charity crap. And I'll get you back a lot of money. That's just how that works. Are the Cayman Islands a good spot to keep funds? Yeah, but they're not. It's not an investment center. It's just a place to hold money. I did not invest in the Cayman Islands. I invested here in Panama. I got bank account. I opened up a bunch of corporations. I opened up a bunch of bank accounts in different banks so I could test them all and see which ones were the best ones for me. But I like the fact that I can get my money anytime I want here in Panama, along with me being here in Panama. So as for the Cayman Islands or St. Kitts and Nevis and whatnot, sure, it's a haven for cash. But what if they get some new dictator that takes the island over? What happens if he decides to just take everyone's money? It's happened. So just be careful on the countries that you're putting your money in. How do I close a corporate company? Don't. Sell it to me. Sell me your corporation. Do not close a company down because that does not absolve the directors of debt. But if you sell it to me, you are completely absolved of all debts. Let me check YouTube. Alson says, Kevin, I haven't filed any of my T5108s for 5 years, and I don't plan to ever. I don't plan on ever talking to the CRA. And I don't have any bank accounts with money in them. What do you think? Well, I mean, I think that you're going to be living your life out of a couple things. A crypto wallet, which is fine. Prepaid credit cards, which is fine. Or we open you up a numbered corporation in Canada and you get yourself a lovely Visa debit card and spend that. And that's also fine. What I think is if you're going to go down the road of never doing taxes again, I don't care. I hate the CRA. I really don't care. But you got to protect your money. Nothing can be in your personal name. So long as you hide everything in numbered corporations and on prepaid credit cards and in your crypto wallets, you're going to be just fine. All right. Let's go over to the Rumble room here. Rumble's pretty alive tonight. This is good. Question. What do you do if CRA takes CPP to pay taxes? Can they do that? Well, it's kind of gray area on the legality of it, but they do it all of the time. You see, everybody, the reason that you have tax debt is that you snitched on yourselves with a tax return. Yeah, you told the CRA the truth. Never tell the truth to the government. There's no reward for it at all. In fact, it's getting to the point where telling the truth in any institution doesn't benefit you in any way. Tell people whatever they need to hear if they work for the banks or the government so that you get what you want and then just be done with it. So with the CRA, I would have to go back, Anna, and fix your taxes. I got to find out what year was the problem. I go back 1 year from that year and then carry forward and fix them all, and that garnishment will go away. FitChick88 says, question, my friend lives in a basement suite in Burnaby, BC. Her landlord lives out of the country. His son lives at University of British Columbia. CRA wants to take his house. Empty house tax. What? The CRA wants to take his house? Okay, well, first off, that's crazy. But you got to understand something. That's not your house. If you have a landlord, that is their house. Okay, 1 second there. Beautiful. So yeah, that is their house. So as the renter, there's nothing that you can do if the CRA says they're going to take the house. But the CRA doesn't take your house. They just put liens on it and then wait for you to sell the house and get paid later. There's a lot more to that story that is missing. It's not going to be as simple as how you worded that. Tredo says, I want to come see you in Panama. I'm buying dinner, lunch, and breakfast, whatever you want. How's the weather there right now? Because Mexico is 48. So, oh my God, 100% humidity. Panama right now is in the rainy season, but it's a very light, cool rainy season. I like it. I like it. When, like my condo, I got this great view of the whole downtown core and the mountains in the north of the city. So these black clouds will come in and they'll sit. And then they very rapidly will move in, dump 5 minutes of rain on the city, and then leave. And then when the sun comes out, everything dries up within 15, 20 minutes. So it's a really good rainy season. Weather every day is between 78 Fahrenheit and probably 85 Fahrenheit, low humidity. Panama is great weather compared to South Mexico, Nicaragua, El Salvador, or definitely Costa Rica. Costa Rica's weather is friggin' ridiculous. Hot, humid all the time, except for in San Jose. San Jose's weather is nice, but the city sucks. There we are. Let me keep going here. So if we do digital marketing and get paid in US currency, we don't need to claim it. If anyone's doing any business digitally, anything online, and you get paid to an American PayPal account or an American Stripe account or an American Square account or American Wise account, why would you tell anybody about that? Shut up. Shh. All right, keep the money. Joe, interesting question there. Please get a hold of me on the website. That's going to be the easier way to reach out, please. Thank you. How about retiring in Costa Rica? No, Crypto X-Man. I lived there for 5 months and I hated it. I did. I liked it for about the first 3-4 weeks only because it wasn't Canada. But it is 5 times the price for food than Panama. It's double the price to triple the price for lodging than Panama. It's 5 times the price for internet. No, I'm sorry, that's wrong. It's 15 times the price for internet and 5 times the price for electricity. And for rental cars, it's more than 10 times the price. Costa Rica is a third world country with first world pricing, and it's absolutely unnecessary for it to be that expensive, and it's absolutely out of control. And the entire West Coast is just hot, blistering hot all the time. Even the ocean water is hot. You sweat when you're in the water. It's not supposed to be that way. It's supposed to cool you off. Paul Newman says, I need your help to get rid of debt. Can't get anywhere because of the fines, interest, penalties. Yeah, I'd like to see what all the things are. Is that corporate debt or is that personal debt or a combination of the two? Let me know. S says, I sold a rental home in 2021. Didn't report the capital gain. Should I be concerned? No. And don't ever talk about it again. Okay? Shh. No. You do not have to fill stuff out on your tax return if you don't feel like doing it. Hannah says, can you still do someone's taxes while they are told they owe money and the CRA has frozen the bank account? Yeah. Listen, everyone, the tax return is a stupid piece of paper with childish rules attached to it. You can do 100 tax returns a day if you wanted to and submit them all. And the CRA would actually have to read them all according to their rules. So the answer is yes to your question. Lemon Cell says, my gave me most of her money while she was alive. Oh, I guess mom gave me most of her money while she was alive and lived with me for 8 years. My sister was AWOL. So I guess that would be a sibling rivalry in reference to a will. Is that correct? Are my consultations free? No, this show is free. I mean, this is episode number 70. And also factor that in with the 7,500 free political videos I gave away. Don't you think that's enough? No, my consultations, they're different prices on different days. The weekends are expensive because, you're making me work 7 days a week, but there are some time slots available right now. There will be a new product though that we are offering. It's going to come out in August, maybe first week of September, where everybody who could not get a consultation one-on-one, we're going to do group consultations. They'll be cheap and everyone's going to come into a private Zoom meeting where I will cover select topics and then they can ask questions privately and then they can actually speak to me face to face, because the vast majority of tax problems out there are quite similar. Occasionally we get stories that are wow, just wow. And I've got to cook up incredibly bizarre strategies to defeat them. But the vast majority of people do have similar problems. Okay, 1 second here. There are some. Okay, guys. So I'm not. What's the word here, guys? I'm not blocking anyone's comments. But TikTok blocks comments automatically. I don't know. It detects something it doesn't like. So Graziano, we've sent you everything that you requested. Yes, Graziano, I've got your text here on my phone. Graziano, you and I will be speaking tomorrow morning. I'm looking very forward to it. Thank you for that. Someone's looking for land in Nova Scotia. That's a province I have never been to. What is XRP? XRP is a cryptocurrency. It's crypto. And it's the one that I want the most right now. Bitcoin's great for savings. XRP will be great for making money. Is Canada banking collapsing? Oh, hell yeah. It's done. It's done. Now, the Canadian dollar itself is done. Here's what I'm hoping. I really hope that Alberta splits. And I really hope the Saskatchewan goes with it. And they take on the US dollar. Let me tell you something about the US dollar. It ain't going anywhere. Who cares if the Americans have got 12 whatever trillion dollars of debt? Doesn't matter. Thank you for the hat, Sia. Doesn't matter at all. What matters is people want to use it. I'm here in Panama. Everybody uses the US dollar here. Everybody. The Balboa is the currency here, but it's tethered directly to the American dollar. So that means the Panamanians do not print their own bills. They mint their own coins, but they don't print their own bills. Everybody wants US. I want US. I would love it if Alberta and Saskatchewan split, became US protectorates, and took on the American dollar. Woo! Wouldn't that be something? Hey, I'm a subcontractor. All my expenses are mine to pay. Okay, Gary. Does that mean you're looking for more write-offs? Could you rephrase it as a question? I'd appreciate that. Thank you. Do I accept crypto? Oh, yeah. Hey. Good question. When I'm doing tax services or buying corporations, I give 10% discounts on everything that we do if you pay in crypto or cash. That's in defiance, of course, of Mark Carney, who says he doesn't want anyone spending more than $10,000 in cash at one time. Yeah, who's he to tell me that? So if you do cash or you do crypto, 10% off. Credit cards, email money transfer, wire transfer, no discounts. There we go. Ernie the Millionaire. I live in the United States. Can I send you money to invest on a property in Panama? Yeah, Ernie, I'd love to do that for you. Let me tell you something about property right now. Panama is being gentrified at an alarming rate. And I mean fast. The government, this new president, he's fantastic, by the way. Freaking-tastic. The subway system here in Panama City is far superior to New York and Toronto. And it's 35 cents to ride it from end to end. They are adding another 36 kilometers of it above ground, west of the Panama Canal, with a tunnel going under the Panama Canal to be able to get more people onto the train into the city and then back out. So what's going on here right now is that properties are being snapped up all over the place. It's time to buy. If you're going to make a fortune here in Panama, especially if you're buying anywhere within 1 kilometer of the canal. Everybody wants to be close to the canal. I mean, it is cool. By my own admission, from the roof of my building, I can watch these massive ships going through the canal every 10, 15 minutes. But it's I'm more concerned about the property value. So Ernie, could you please go to my website right now, put your name in the subject line. Let's talk about investments, because Panama is a booming, regardless of what the Canadian government says. Panama is safe. There's no dengue fever here. There's no rabies here. The Panama Canal is at absolutely full capacity. The Panamanian banks are running smooth. The downtown core is like New York of the 1980s. The place is just remarkable. Oh, and my living expenses are only $7,000 a year, and the food is good. Like, it's good. I used to get gout attacks every month in Canada because of all the crap food I was eating. Not one. Ate like a year and a half I've been here. Not one. It's been phenomenal. How can I stop the CRA from harassing me about a $20,000 debt? All right, we have to send a cease and desist letter. We got to threaten them with police action because you have the right to charge these people criminally. And then we got to redo your tax years to get rid of that debt. There we go. Twin City Chuck. Okay, Chuck, if you're having any issues at all getting me stuff, I need you to go to my website right this minute, use the contact form, put in Twin City Chuck, and I'm going to, anybody who emails me during this show, I'm going to answer you tonight and first thing in the morning tomorrow. So Twin City Chuck, if you got files to send to me, I'll take them from you. I'll tell you exactly how to get that done. It'd be my pleasure. Do banks report large deposits to FinTrack? Yeah, of course they do. Absolutely they do. Oh, look what Facebook did. Facebook didn't like what I was saying, and they just shut me down. Isn't that incredible? Oh, those people suck. Something fierce. Thank you, Mark Zuckerberg. You're awful. All right. I don't care that you've taken Aikido or whatever the hell it is you've done. You're still a wimp. If I'm 16 years old and never filled out taxes, do I have to file this year? No, you don't at all. Nothing at all. If you never do your first tax return as a kid and you keep that all the way through life, you never have to legally do one. Not one bit. Let's just see if my Facebook page got shut down. All right. Let's see here. Probably a suspension. Oh, no, I'm not suspended, but the live just stopped on Facebook. Oh, well. God, Mark Zuckerberg. Okay, and Christine, Eddie is texting me. Can you text him, let him know that I'm in the midst of my live show, but I'll come up and chat with him shortly. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I sold a rental home in 2020. Oh, no, we've already answered that one. Oh, everyone's asking me what XRP is. It's a cryptocurrency. It's the one that I want the most. So I'm giving 10% discounts to anybody who hires me. You can pay for my services with XRP with a 10% discount. Is crypto in Canada good? Crypto is great all over the world. I just don't use any Canadian exchanges. Canadian companies suck because they're all cowards and they all capitulate to FinTrack and the CRA. Do I dissolve a corporation if it's done if I have part? No, sell it to me. No. If you dissolve a corporation and it's got debt, the CRA will chase the directors for it. Sell it to me in a share sale, and then it becomes my problem, not yours. By the way, everybody, here, we only have 11,600 likes on TikTok. Can we get everyone just going double fingers, please? Double fingers, please. Let's get the double fingers rocking and rolling here, and let's really jazz it up. Let's get the likes going. Same thing over here on Instagram, please. Same thing everywhere. Share, 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 share. Like, share. Yeah, please get it going. Really do appreciate that. On YouTube, Siren says, I want to go back and do my taxes for the last 10 years and get it all back. Is the charge by year, or do you take it out of the total? Well, let me tell you something. We did have an offer that was out there where we would do taxes for you, and we would take 50% of what we got you back. And the big problem here is everybody abused it. Everyone said, oh, well, I don't have to pay. So, and everyone started lining up. And all of a sudden, before we knew it, I had over 250 people saying, we want to do this. To which I did state that, wait a minute, I haven't even analyzed your taxes yet. I don't know what I can get you back. And there were a lot of people there that were only going to get back about $2,000 or $3,000, but they lined up for it anyway. And I was very clear that if you have not paid more than $25,000 in total over the last 10 years, I cannot offer the 50-50 service. So I've just discontinued the program. I do not like dishonesty. I don't. When I have a policy, abide by it, because I can cancel my policies whenever I want. I didn't enjoy that at all. I do not like being lied to. And when I'm lied to, guess what happens? We're not going to do business. All right, for everybody who lives in Quebec, you can live in Quebec, but you should have a corporation in Ontario and do all of your billing and all of your banking out of Ontario. That way you can skip Revenue Quebec. The province of Quebec operates on civic law, not common law, which is why Quebec has its own Revenu de Québec. Yeah, they're worse than the IRS. They really are. They're crazy. So if you don't report taxes in Quebec, but you report them out of Ontario, you're fine. I bought a house in Ontario specifically so that I could have an address for everybody anywhere who wants a house address for numbered corporations or to get their money out of Quebec. So come on, folks, take advantage of that and stop doing business in Quebec, or at least reporting it there. How can the Canadian government limit how much crypto we buy in a year? Well, they can through the banks. But if you've got multiple bank accounts under multiple numbered corporations, then they can't really stop you. If you've got American bank accounts or Panamanian bank accounts or Mexican bank accounts, they can't stop you. The big problem with Canadians is they all do banking in Canada. Dumb. Don't do that. You got to spread your wings. Get out there and see a bit more about the world. Dan says, Kevin, I have a question. When I start my corporation and it's time to file my taxes, do I not just file a T4, or do I file a T4 and put my name and leave it blank? Oh, I get the question. When you start a brand new corporation, never put yourself on a T4. Never pay yourself a salary. Live your life out of the corporate bank account. Why would you want a T4 that? If you own a corporation and you put yourself on a T4, here's what happens. You start paying federal income tax, provincial income tax, Canada Pension Plan, and employment insurance. And then the corporation has to match the corporate insurance 100% and the EI 140%. So you go from 0 tax to 6 taxes the second that you put yourself on a T4. Don't ever do that. Register a corporation, live your entire life out of it, never do a tax return. Because if you do the first tax return for a corporation, you're signing a contract with the CRA to become an in-trust tax collector for them, which is something that you do not want to do. Tunnel vision question. Generally, the best way to do business in the United States should be in an Ontario numbered corporation, you make USD without having to report on it. I mean, well, look, you can do business internationally with a numbered corporation in any province. The advantage to Ontario is that the province it's like 14 million people there, and it's in such disarray. It's such a mess that they'll never figure out what you're doing. That's why Ontario is the place to register. I hate Ontario. The nutcases run every branch of government there, but it's the best place to run a corporation out of, especially if you're doing it remote. All right, here's a great question. More over, less under asks, wondering how you have time to redo everyone's taxes. Do you have a team? Yeah, I've got a very good team. I can't do this alone. I mean, someone's got to be the good looks, right? But someone also has to do the work. I don't do tax returns. I do tax strategy. I do all the legal stuff. I'm the guy that figures out what the law is. I draw the strategy up, and then I hand over all the strategy to my team of CPAs, and they get the work done. And then I inspect it. And then once I agree that they're done and accurate, I am the one that takes accountability for it. I swear everything in to the courts through a notary public. So it's all over the map what I do. But remember, I'm the one that's invented doing taxes this way. I'm the one who has invented the corporate purchasing and corporate trading and debt brokering. That's me. So no one else is doing this, which is why it seems a bit odd to all of you. Now, I'm going to answer that question further. Come January 1st, you're going to be able to log into our website and do your taxes yourself through AI online. And it's going to put every deduction in there to get your tax bill to zero. How's that sound? So this way, you can bypass the consultation, scan in your T4 from work. It'll populate all your numbers, and then it's going to ask you, hey, dude, you want to pay tax? Yes? No. If you say yes, okay, you pay tax. Good for you. If you say no, then it puts in every single solitary legal write-off that we can possibly put into it and get your tax bill down to zero, or as close to it as we legally can. You're going to print out your tax return and you're going to mail it into the CRA. You'll be able to do all of that come January. We are going hardcore with AI right now. I'm a big believer in it. And for those of you out there who have mundane office jobs, understand AI is going to replace those jobs. You know what you need to do? Learn how to use AI, because AI jobs are going to be the next big thing. Remember, when the car was invented, stables and carriage builders were lobbying the government to ban cars forever so they would have a job building horse carriages and bits for the horses and blinders and hay stalkers and whatnot. And within 10 years, every single horse was out of Chicago and out of New York and out of Miami and out of every other city that they were in. Right? Times change fast. So if you are working an office job, that office job is going bye-bye very, very soon. Even law firms are firing junior lawyers right now in favor of using AI. So if you do not know how to use AI to generate an income or generate a business for you, you're screwed. Learn now. All of you, learn now, please. I'm taking AI to like 10 years down the road. Whenever I do things, I'm always ahead of the curve. Always. In fact, like, you probably have all seen this crazy professional bitch slapping league where like this guy lines up and slaps you. You got to stand there and take it. And you just try to slap each other until someone passes out. I had my own bitch slap chess league 15 years ago on YouTube. You know what the problem is? I was too early. Yeah, I was too early. People were not ready for extreme sports like that. Now everybody can't wait to see it. So I couldn't make any money off of that. But I'm 10 to 15 years ahead of the tax curve now. And I'm capitalizing big time. And I'm developing AI big time to be able to do all of these things so that we can get hundreds of thousands of Canadians paying zero tax legally. No other accountant out there is going to do that. They're all cowards. All of them. They sicken me. Okay, Graziano, yes. Yes, I can do that. Which platform is good for crypto in Canada? None. None of them are good for crypto unless you're using the email money transfer on something like ShakePay to buy crypto and then move it to your American wallet, all right, or your private wallet. But that's it. I don't store anything in Canada. I would never store anything in Canada in the way of crypto. Okay, so just reached out to you via WhatsApp regarding booking and using crypto. Okay, well, thank you for that. I'll be able to get to that one tomorrow morning. If CRA threatens your money, take the money out of the bank. Yes, SIA, 100% correct. As soon as you get threats, drain your bank account. And don't open a new one because they'll figure it out. We got to register a numbered corporation for you. And then you take that numbered corporation and get a bank account. And then make sure you're not the director, and then your money is safe. Okay. So another random person says, go to my Telegram and get harassed. I don't really know how to use Telegram, sweetheart. So you got the wrong guy. My Telegram, it's got like 500 followers. You know why? Because I don't know what I'm doing on Telegram. I use Telegram to make the occasional phone call. That's all I do. So if you are seeing an official Kevin J. Johnston Telegram page and it has more than 500 followers on it and less than 480 followers on it, it's probably a scam account. It ain't me. So no, I'm not harassing anyone on Telegram. I don't talk to anybody on Telegram. I barely post on Telegram. So careful about your accusations. By the way, that I guess leads me to my question here. If anyone really knows how to use Telegram and get like 1 million followers on it without buying them, let me know. Leanne says, I cashed in my RSPs and paid $30,000 in taxes 5 years ago. I got to go back and redo that, the tax year before, the tax year of, and the tax year after. It's a pain in the ass to do that, but we will do it. It's expensive though. Like I bill between $1,500 and $2,000 per tax year to get that done, but you'll get the $30,000 back. That's key there. Are the banks reporting anything we transfer out? It's difficult to get any wording from the banks. Like they don't tell you what they're doing. And they all say, well, we don't have to. That's internal documentation. But when they're giving your information away to FinTrack, that's no longer internal information. That's them violating the Privacy Act. So I suspect that if anybody out there sued the bank randomly and said, yeah, they gave my information to FinTrack, and you subpoena FinTrack to come to court, yeah, you probably win. Campground Dave, what's my website? My name is KevinJJohnston.com. Kevin J, my name, Kevin, middle initial J, last name, JOHNSTON.com. Yeehaw. Okay. So I'm just going to look at some more questions here. Cool. All righty. We've got more questions popping up here in Rumble. Question. Do you want to buy my house in Ontario with crypto? I don't want to buy any. I don't want to buy anything in the province of Ontario. I washed my hands of that disgusting place. You know what's the thing with Ontario? Here's what I would do. I would open up an investment company, and I'm going to wait for the property market in Ontario to crash another 30 to 40%. But even then, the houses will still be like 800 grand. So I don't know if I'm ever going to invest in the province of Ontario. I really don't. So I'm going to decline that, but thank you for the question. That's a good question. Fit Chick says, ICBC lawyers want to know how much I make during the last 12 years. Old case, not my fault. Permanent damage to my lower back. How is this going to work with you doing my taxes? I need to see the entire case on that one. I got to hear what the lawyers are asking for and why. Okay, let's keep going here. Tony says, how do I take personal money to my corporation without being taxed at a high rate? By shutting up, by shutting the F up, right? You take money out of your corporation and shh. And I'll do it again for you. Shut up. Stop talking. That's what. All right, guys, look. Do you think the CRA is smart enough to look at your corporation and then say, hey, you took out $74.18 on June 3rd, 2023? They will do that if you cooperate with an auditor. But if you don't cooperate with the auditor and you hire me and I get rid of the auditor, what are they going to know? These are not smart people. Even the auditors I've met are retards. They're morons. But you telling them what you're doing is what screws you. It's not them that screws you. It's you. So take money out of your corporation, all of it if you want, and say nothing about it. And then sell the corporation to me so that it becomes my problem. And they got to chase me for your withdrawals. How do you leave Canada with your money? You could convert it to Bitcoin, put it into a crypto.com wallet, apply for the crypto.com Indigo Visa card, and you could just spend your Bitcoin anywhere in the world, like cash. Tap, 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 tap. My crypto.com Visa card works everywhere. Every country I've been to, it's worked everywhere. That's one way. There's many ways to get money out of Canada. I mean, the other one is get a US bank draft, open a corporation in Panama or Grenada or somewhere, get a bank draft for $100,000 or whatever your life savings are in USD, put it in a birthday card, put the birthday card in an envelope, put that in your carry-on bag and take the money order with you, and then put it in your bank account when you get to the country. It's really that simple. Once you buy the corporation, what's your long-term goal with it? Sometimes, nothing. Sometimes, look, guys, once in a while, what happens when I buy someone's corporation, I get a complete maniac as an auditor who is contacting me over and over again. So I take full advantage of the opportunity to completely screw with the guy. I make phone calls. I send faxes in that are, callous and crass. And I just keep messing with them. And if that particular corporation really does bother the individual, then they're going to keep sending me stupid legal documents, and I'm going to keep mocking them, saying, hey, no, I'm not cooperating. Go to hell. Kiss this and lick that, and no, it's not going to happen. That's how I treat these people. But if it's a really big one, like if you sold me a corporation with $7, $12, $20 million of debt, you better believe I'm going to turn that thing around and sell it to another corporation out there. That's a big capital loss. I mean, imagine property developers. If you built something crazy like 5,000 homes, you could actually turn a profit of about $600 million. Now, imagine you bought a $50 million write-off from me. That's a pretty good write-off. So you're going to make more money. And it's all about making money, everyone. Sometimes we just redo the taxes and we find out that the person who sold me the corporation with all the debt didn't actually even have debt. Sometimes, not often. So we'll just file the returns at zero and bring the debt down to zero, and then you actually utilize it as a regular corporation. And in many cases, I'll bundle a bunch of them and sell them all as one big cluster. There we go. Should I get my holding company to buy my personal residence? Yes, if you have never in this lifetime done any business in that corporation. Yes, a holding company doesn't do business. A holding company should only hold property. There we go. Can I write off any expenses while on LTD? Yep, absolutely. Every single solitary one. Ian, good question. This comes up a lot. Can I opt out of property taxes in Ontario? No, not yet. I will eventually one day figure it out. I am a clever guy. But property tax is the only tax in Canada that you got to pay. And only because they will repossess your house eventually. What are the best banks in Ontario to open a business account in with the least questions? Meridian or any of the credit unions. Stay away from the federal banks and you're going to do just fine. It's hard for us to be able to get bank accounts in the US and Mexico and other places. No, Barb, it's not. Just get a corporate bank account. Those are easy. Open a corporation in Wyoming, open a Chase bank account in Wyoming and under the corporation. Ta-da, you got a bank account. Don't put stuff in your name. Do everything through corporations. All Canadian bank accounts, all personal, buying crypto. I'm really limited to 39K a year crypto. Yeah, but if you get things like Coho bank accounts, 5 or 6 of them, you can use the credit cards to to throw money into Google Pay and then buy crypto out of Google Pay. You can put money into Google Pay, everyone, and buy crypto that way. I mean, there'll be a service fee of probably 0.97%, but you'll still be able to buy crypto. Can you open a corporation in Ontario and open a business? Well, anybody can. And yes, I do have the ability to open up corporations for you. Should you buy a home directly into a corporate name or first buy it in person and then transfer it? Nope, straight into the corporation. Always, always, always the corporation. Should I stop filing my corporate for this third year? Well, Blueboard, I need more context for that. You're asking me that for a reason. Could you tell me what that reason is, please? What do we do if we file corporate taxes, but you want to get on using your strategies? I may have to redo your corporate taxes for the last couple of years. Fix them up. There we go. Is there an online bank you recommend for Canadians? Coho and Tangerine. Coho is a trust company, so they're less inclined to work with the CRA. And then there's Relay in the United States, who are just like Tangerine, and they have no ties to the CRA. So I highly recommend a Relay bank account through a Wyoming corporation. There you go. Oh, Barb, you want my website? My name, Kevin J. Last name, Johnston, JOHNSTON.com. Could everyone that knows my website, please put it in the comments? Thank you very much. Do I pay taxes on gambling in Canada? No, you do not pay taxes on gambling winnings, nor do you pay taxes on any lottery winnings. Those are still tax-free in Canada. And congratulations for being someone that wins at the casino. I don't win there very often. Love yourself. I want you to do my taxes next year. No problem. Do I do American tax? Oh my God, I wish I could. You know what would be awesome about doing American taxes is there's just so many of you. There's almost 400 million of you lovely people, and you all have money to spend. And I love money. Especially, I love greenback. I love crypto more, but I love greenbacks. So unfortunately, no, I have not learned American tax law yet. I'm actually waiting to see what Trump does with the IRS. Because if Trump kills the IRS, then there would be no point learning anything to do with the IRS. Stay tuned, I guess. What's the challenge in trying to find a competent and honest income tax prepper? They're all cowards. That's the problem with them. So are the tax lawyers. Gutless. They're all afraid of the CRA. They honestly think the CRA is a police force. They're not. They're just losers. Hold on. We got some more questions coming in. So how do we prep it? Or how do you find an honest prepper? You don't want an honest prepper. You don't want someone who abides by the rules. You don't want to play that stupid game. So don't deal with honest people. You got to deal not with shysters. You got to deal with guys who are strategically dishonest. All right. I'm strategically dishonest when it comes to the idiots at the CRA. But I'm honest with my clients, and that's all that matters. Mark the Shark, can you teach us? Well, I mean, this is episode 70, and I think the last 40 have all been to do with taxes. But if you're asking me, would you like to be trained in how to do this? I'm still trying my very best to put together a training program here in Panama. But you'd have to make the trip to Panama. This is not something that I would do online, at least not yet. But yes, there will be training at some point in the future. What happens if the banking system goes 100% digital? Does your system still work? Yes, because the government is very, very, very slow in Canada to implement anything. They write stupid laws and never get them implemented properly. Yeah, don't worry. We'll be fine. Am I still working with Dr. Sidney Brewer? Well, I've never worked with Dr. Brewer. I've spoken to Dr. Brewer, but I've never worked with him. That is a myth that he and I work together. No, we're like, when we talk privately, which has only been 3 separate times, the conversations have been wonderful, but I don't work with him and he does not work with me. So that's a misnomer. Yeah. So Moni says January 1st, we're not allowed to pay cash for $1,000 or more or it will go to FinTrack. Well, you will with me. Let's say that you have a corporation with $1 million of debt. You got to pay me $100,000 to take it over from you. You can give me $90,000 in cash. I'll give a 10% discount. I'll take cash. I'm reporting nothing to FinTrack. Literally nothing. I'm reporting nothing to any branch of government. Government gets nothing from me. My American husband works in the USA, lives in Canada, and is constantly harassed by the CRA because he's always gone to the wrong tax people. If it's me, everything's going to be A-okay. If it's anyone else, probably not. I have a personal real estate corp. Are they different from a regular corp? Yeah, they are, but I can still take them off your hands. Never use a personal real estate corporation. You know what that is? That's that stupid rule that was brought in by RICO in Ontario, like the Real Estate Commission of Ontario. They're losers. They're not a government body. They are a private company that is a governing body. Losers. There's no other way to word that. They are absolutely effing losers. Don't ever register a personal real estate corporation in the province of Ontario. You will regret it. Just register a corporation and do business out of a corporation. RICO sucks. I will one day compete directly with those idiots. I want to go on my girlfriend's benefits, but we both claim single and live together. Is that a problem? One of you change your driver's license to your mom's house and you're going to be just fine. Do you trust new banks like Wealth Simple? You know, Brian, I'm going to open an account up just to see how it functions. I just haven't decided if I'm going to do it in a brand new corporation or one that I've bought with lots of debt. I guess I'll find out soon. Omar says, how do you even have time to do all this? You're outstanding. Well, thank you, brother. I do appreciate that. 12 to 14 hours every single day. The work is not going to do itself. And my team works that much. And if anybody was wanting to work with me or for me, they are going to be 60 to 75 hour weeks. So don't bother applying if you're looking for a 40-hour work week. The business is still growing immensely. In order to keep up with it, it's a long day. Now, I have a very strong work ethic, and I don't mind working 12 to 14 hours a day. But if you do, don't apply. It's really that simple. Omar's asking, should pre-construction condos be under a corporation and under a holding? Oh boy. Okay. Yes. Yes. Anything that you're going to buy should be in a corporation. Everything. But I would stay in Canada, stay the hell away. Unless you know the developer and you know the developer is working on something small. Like all these super tall condos in Toronto, they're not going to get built. But if the developer is doing small 2-bedroom townhouses where the retail price might be $400K when they're done, and you can buy in for $15,000, $20,000, sure, buy into a couple of those, but do it in a corporation, please, because that way you cannot pay the HST and get away with it. Do I have to claim e-transfers I get from people? Oh, no, no, don't do that ever. Why would someone use a bank account for Canadian corporations? Could you rephrase that question, please? Oh boy, WSIB, they are a very bizarre group to work with, but they still are not a true government body. They are an insurance company. So there's ways to win with them too. Barb says, I'm an intelligent man. Thank you, Barb. That is greatly appreciated. Can you open a corporation in Ontario and open a business bank account in Alberta? Well, yes, but it would be a federally chartered bank that you would do that with. If you want to open a provincially chartered credit union, your corporation has to be in that province. What's up with the CRA asking to refund CERB payments? How do you solve that dispute? I've covered it earlier in the show. I charge $9.50 for it. I get rid of your CERB debt. But the CRA is demanding it because Justin Trudeau sunk the country into $1.7 trillion of debt. with absolutely no escape plan whatsoever and 11 million unemployed people in the country. So the country's cooked. Carney, he'll double that. You watch. And he's going to call an early election. So they're desperate to recover as much money as they can. And because Canada is no longer an entrepreneurial center, the only place they can get money is from Canadian citizens with tax, and threats. That's all they do. And none of your business. We're just going to go ahead and block you. Bye-bye. We don't let the trolls have any say here. It's incredible that the trolls will open up new email accounts and a new TikTok account while I'm live on TikTok, specifically to insult me, just to get blocked. You know, I wish I had that much free time on my hands. So what crypto do I suggest? Well, Bitcoin is the new gold. I get Bitcoin, I never spend it. Ethereum is something I hang on to because the millennials use it quite a bit for a lot of digital stuff. So if I'm looking to buy digital books and digital information and digital services, then I use Ethereum. XRP is the next up and comer. I honestly think it's going to become a currency in at least a couple of countries around the world. When it does, you can watch it go from $3.25 to probably $50. And if it does that, I'm going to be a wealthy man. To the point where I might be close to my goal of retirement of $100 million. That is, I'm not going to stop working until that is my net worth. Well, it wouldn't be my net worth because I hide my money in numbered corporations everywhere, like Elon Musk does. I have nothing, but I control everything. That's the way I'll be doing it. But I figure if I get to $100 million by 65, that's enough for me to say, you know what, I'm done. I'm done. There will be a day when I've had enough of big cities and loud noises and crypto and banks and government and nonsense. I mean, it will happen one day. And I want to have the freedom to get myself a 5,000 acre plot of land. It'll be me and my dog and my dirt bike, my ATV, and maybe a snowmobile. And that's it. Like nothing else. And with $100 million, I can have anything I want flown in by helicopter at any time. So life will be A-okay at that point. I was told if I'm already in a multi-million CRA audit, it's too late to transfer my assets. Ooh. Okay, this is where I become an owl. Who told you that? Who said that? Who works for the CRA to know the policy on that one and tell it to you? Who do they work for in the way of a law firm? Yeah. Who says these things to people? If you're in the middle of an audit, you tell the auditor to get the F out of your building and the audit's over and then move all your assets. I should be your tax guy if you're in the middle of an audit because I will fire the auditor for you. They're gone and they're never coming back. We use all the appropriate legalese to get that done. So come on, everyone. I know you love your friends and your mom and your dad and your sisters and your cousins. I get it. You love your inner circle. But if your inner circle are not a hyper successful businessman, why are you taking advice about money from them? If someone is broke, why would you go to advice from them? I would not go to a 500-pound man for personal training. I would not go to a blind man for lessons on how to drive a Formula One race car. I just wouldn't do it. I would not go to a smoker for advice on how to keep my lungs clean when I'm walking around a big city. These are just things I don't do. And if somebody is broke or makes a very paltry salary and have very little to their name, I'm not going to them for advice on anything to do with money, commerce, or finance, or even taxes. So be careful who you get your information from. You want to get information about how to make money? You go to the millionaires. Talk with them. Does a subcontract? No. Nobody has to tell anyone about e-transfers. Keep that information quiet. Faisal says, I used $375,000 of company money to buy stocks in my name, down 97%, didn't do company taxes for 4 years. You better sell me that corporation because they're going to be wanting to know where that went. And if the corporation belongs to me, then you are going to be completely and totally off the hook. Let me go back to the Rumble Room here. Do they have nice boutiques in Panama? Oh my God. The malls here are better than Chinook in Calgary or the Eaton Center in Toronto or even Vaughan Mills in Vaughan. The malls here are beautiful. The boutiques are beautiful. I mean, even the lower end malls, the outlet malls are beautiful. Yes, they got great stuff here. Oh, great question from Fit Chick. Should I stop investing in RSPs and use my bi-weekly investments in crypto? Yes. Nobody should be putting money into RRSPs in Canada, RESPs in Canada, GICs in Canada. They just don't put money into any government savings plan in Canada because they're going to tax you up to 48% if they can get away with it when you cash out. Even the TFSA, the tax-free savings account, is a lie. Buy crypto and property in the right places. If my dad and I start a hold co and he is on the finance purposes, are we able to do 50-50 owners? Yes, because the corporate bylaws dictate who the shareholders are. Yes, exactly. Marcello, do you know how to get a hold of Dr. Sidney Brewer? His website's gone. Oh. Do I? You know, the meetings that I had with him were set up by a third party. I don't know. I'll try to figure that out for you this week. So ask me again next week. I may have an answer for you. CRA is trying to collect for CERB and UI overpayment. That's something that I crush. It's $950 and I crush it with all the legal letters that need to be submitted. Okay, everyone. Oh, wait a second. My Instagram link. Hold on. If anyone's trying to book a consultation and you can't get Calendly to work on the booking side, just go to the contact page of my website and let me know that you want to book a consultation. I opened up a whole bunch of dates. There's a whole bunch of dates available for that. And yes, we will get you a link to pay for it and we'll get you your booking time. All right. So Calendly doesn't work on every browser. We're programming our own now in AI. I've had enough of Calendly's nonsense. So I do apologize for that. But yes, there are dates available. Will you pay something to buy a corporation? Yeah. So guys, if you have a corporation that's in big debt, I buy the corporation for $1. I take over the entire corporation. All the shares become mine, which means all of your debt is mine. You buy back your assets from me for 10% of the value of the entire debt. And that way, within 1 day, all your debts are gone and you get to keep all your stuff. Yes, I do that. When you put your home in a holding company, are all the bills and property taxes put into the corporate number? Yes. Or you could put them into a renter's name, John Smith, because a lot of times they don't ask for ID. You could say, yeah, look, I'm renting this house. My name's John, and I need you guys to come over and hook up the water. I need you guys to come over and get the electricity running. We need internet here. I would prefer you did it that way under fake names. So that way, if you feel like walking away from the entire thing, that's how you do it. I shouldn't say this, but open up a Hotmail account for that service and get yourself a text now phone number or a hushed phone number. And that way, when you decide to walk away from the bills, you get phone calls to a phone number that doesn't exist. Do I have physical offices in the GTA? Well, yes, but that's where my lawyer and my legal secretary work. And no, I do not book meetings for you to sit with them because they are not the strategist. I'm the strategist. They're the ones that make everything legal. So if you want to meet me in person, we do consultations by Zoom or by StreamYard. If you want to meet me in person, come on down to Panama. I would love to see you. There's some absolutely phenomenal restaurants in Panama. In fact, not some, thousands of phenomenal ones. We can have ourselves a good bite and chat face to face. I have a lot of people that fly to Panama to meet me. A lot. It's actually happening 2 to 3 times a week now. Okay, Scooter. Scooter says the CRA will know about the e-transfer if you get an audit. You don't cooperate with the audit. An auditor says, I'm coming to your house on this day and this time. Yeah, the hell you are. I send them in a warning. You ain't coming. No trespass notice. If you show up, we're calling 911. They are not cops. They're losers. They have no right to be on your property if you tell them to get lost. Okay, Trump. Listen, everyone. I used to be a political commentator. There is $0 and 0 cents to be made in political commentary. So I'm going to say this to everyone. Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Gaza, Ethiopia, and Eritrea, and South Sudan, they're all fighting each other. The new war coming between Egypt and Ethiopia. Boko Haram versus the Biafran province. Lesotho versus South Africa. What the hell can any of us do about these things? Don't cloud your mind with these problems. You didn't do it. I didn't do it. I can't change the history of these places. These are places that have been fighting for hundreds, in some cases, thousands of years. For you to fill your head with any of this stuff doesn't make you money. All of you need to be in the gym at least 3 to 5 days a week. You got to read a really good book once a week, like get a book a week in there. Turn off Netflix, forget CNN and CBC, and stop concerning yourself with world politics that does not make you money. You want to make money? Stay away from that crap. So it doesn't matter what I think about Trump. I mean, you all know I hated Biden, and you all know that I sit slightly right of center. All of you know this. And I want nothing to do with Democrat or liberal thinking because they don't make money. I'm going to stick with the political structure and the political side that makes money. So with Trump, everyone's making money with him in office right now. And that's what I care about. I do this show so all of you can learn how to A, make money, and B, keep it. There we are. I'm going to go ahead and disagree with everybody who doesn't like Bitcoin. I like it. It's good for me. I'm going to recommend it to anyone. All right. I do not hold any USDT. I do not want USDT. I will not take USDT in form of payment, but I will take USDC in the form of a payment. All right. Christy 2020 says, I got to get in touch with you before I retire. Sure thing. Family death and money do not mix well. That's correct. And with the CRA, always remember that you do not ever report a family member's death to the CRA for at least 3 years. All right. Make sure you get everything closed, move all the money, move all the properties, get everything done. Then tell the CRA. You're under no legal obligation to tell the CRA someone's dead. Remember, I told you my mother, when my dad died at 10:55 a.m. on the 3rd of January, 2008, I was with him when he died. Instead of mourning the loss of her 40-year husband, she ran downstairs and made a phone call to the CRA. I think it's weird that she had the CRA's toll-free number in her pocket to make that call. Ah, my husband died. I don't want to go to jail. Ah. Yeah. That's how sick that people are when they fear everything. Don't be like my mom. I actually had to take I had my mother declared mentally unfit over that. I took all of her credit cards from her and I took all of her bank accounts from her. You see, Mom, you're going to give money to anyone that asks for it because you're afraid of going to jail. Wait, where does this jail crap enter your head? At the time when my father died, my mother would have been in her early 60s, mid 60s. Ma, who's coming to arrest a mid 60s woman who's never done a single thing wrong in their life? Where does jail enter your head? Explain it to me. It's just what I heard. Again, from who? Remember the owl crap? Who told you this? Someone did. She believed it. Don't be like that. So all of you out there, stop fearing the unknown. Make the unknown known, and you won't be afraid anymore. It's your money. Keep it. We're down to our last 4 minutes here. All right. What happens to the Canada pension plan that they are collecting? I need more context for that question, please, if you don't mind. Okay, just checking for more questions here. This is a very interesting one. The Canada Revenue Agency knew that my mom died. They reached out to me, pulled money out of her account after you filed. That's why they knew, because you told them. Why would you do that? Okay? Listen up, everyone. I'm going to scold everybody now. When a family member dies, shut up about it. Don't post on Facebook. Don't post on social media. Don't call people looking for emotional support. Don't call people looking to be the center of attention for a day or two. That's your dead family member. Mourn them. Keep your mouth shut, because otherwise, guess what happens? The vultures come in looking for money. When you tell people someone died, everyone comes running in looking for money. Hey, you know, your dad, I loaned him $27,000 8 years ago. He never paid me back. Can I get that money, please? Scumbags show up. My friggin' in-laws, when I was married, when my father-in-law died, they started walking into his house and taking his power tools. I had to sit on the front porch for 3 days telling all of them, get the F out of here. Nothing in there is yours. So everyone, stop talking to the CRA. Stop snitching on yourself. I mean it. You're going to lose everything. I sold a property in Europe. How do I access the cash here in Canada? Fly to Europe, get a prepaid credit card, put all the money into crypto, and then spend the crypto in Canada. All kinds of ways to do so. But I wouldn't, if you're going to transfer it, make it a business to business transfer. That's how you do it. All right. We're down to our last couple of minutes here. The funeral home notifies by way of canceling her OHIP. That's a good point. So you could go to the cremators and talk with them. But my question to you is, if you went to the funeral home, did you physically take your mother's stuff with you? Because a lot of people do that. They take the OHIP card and they take the driver's license. They take everything with them to the funeral home. And the funeral home guy takes it and puts it in an envelope and staples it and does God knows what with it. Like, you know, why would you give that away? That's gold in your hands, man. So you just don't deal with it. Go to the cremation, say, here's the death certificate. Here's my father. Burn him. Give me the ashes. Stop giving people information. You're not legally obligated to do so. I highly recommend that you do not do so. All right. We are down to our last minute here on the Rumble side. So I'm going to say thank you to everybody who's watching tonight on Facebook. Thank you to everybody watching on all the following platforms: DLive, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, Restream, all of them. My God, I appreciate everybody being here. If you're watching on Rumble, please share, please follow, subscribe, please do all of that. This is the Tax and Money Show that runs every single solitary Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on freedomreport.ca. Share, share, share. Tell the world about the show, everybody, because it is imperative that all of us know what to do and what not to do and how to protect everything that we make. There we go. And for those who are asking, Rumble is competition to YouTube. You can find my Rumble channel by just typing in freedomreport.ca in a browser and just type in my name. If you download the Rumble app, you'll find me there. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I love you all, and good night.